our organization is the only organization that is encouraging and processing the meeting between the birth mom and the adoptive parents.
Wow.
This is very important for both the adoptive parents and the birth mom. If we start with the birth mom, it builds confidence in the birth mom that the baby or the toddler is going to a specific place, to a specific family, and she hopes and she understands that this baby is not just going to unspecified family. It builds a confidence in the birth mom. And on the other hand, the same confidence is built by the adoptive families, because the adoptive families are naturally interested to know from where the child came, who the parents are, and so on and so forth. Because unlike the abandoned children, the children with their parents or natural parents, you know, the family, the adoptive family should know. This also creates a very good opportunity for the adoptive families to understand and to know the background of the baby. And we encourage them to ask as many questions as possible, even if some of these questions might sound silly culturally. We do so because we understand that when the baby grows up, this baby is going to treat the family with a lot of questions. As a human beings, we are interested in our origin and from when we come. When the baby realizes that he or she is different from this family, he or she start to think about from where did I come, how did I end up here. So the purpose of this meeting is to prepare the basic background and equip the adoptive families with all the necessary information, both for themselves as a family and also to tell the boy or the girl when she grows up about all this. This has another specific advantage. It builds up the confidence between the adopted child and the adoptive family. The child would be very appreciative of the information that he is getting or she is getting. He or she will also be very appreciative because of the transparency and the knowledgeability of the family. And he will begin to appreciate the love and the concern that this family has given to this adoptive family. And he will think of trying to find out the ways and means on how he or she would be able to repair for this unfathomable love.
Wow.
All right? The mother is relinquishing her baby to this family out of sincere love and decision. Not because she is going to get any advantage out of this. And we strictly adhere to this. Because this is a gift from the mother to the adoptive parents, and the adoptive parents, throughout all the process that they had to go through back in Canada, are already ready to be able to raise this child as a good child. The family is not going to be the same family again.
Right.
There is a very special human ingredient that has been added into this family, which forces the family to revisit their plan in the future, to make another input into this process, because another sort of love is coming into this family. So this family is going to be more educated and more intelligent. Not so much because these families are joining a group of families in Canada who have already adopted children from Ethiopia or elsewhere. So that puts them into a different community. These people are not just ordinary Canadians. They are dignified and loving families, responsible families, families who are ready to share what they have. Not only their resources, but also the love that they have in their heart. So these ones are the responsible Canadian citizens who are ready to contribute to the efforts that their country is making to develop Canada to the highest level. And so when the baby goes home to Canada, this baby goes home with the energy, with the mind, with the potential, with all the natural abilities that this child would have, and go home. So this is an input to that country. And I must say, nobody knows what would happen to some of them. Some of them might end up in the parliament. Some of them might become scientists, engineers, just like any other Canadian child. So this is very important. For me, I honor a family that has adopted a child from Africa or from Ethiopia so much than hearing or watching seminars or books or things or other lamentations about babies, toddlers, or families. As I said, anything bad that happens on the globe, whether it happens in Iraq, Afghanistan, Congo, or any place in the world, first of all targets the babies and the toddlers who do not have the means of any protection. Their peace is disrupted by forces to which they are not parties. And therefore, adopting a baby and taking it back to Canada is rescuing these babies not only from poverty, but also from the lack of peace that would sometimes be disrupted by local disorders or internal displacement or wars or natural calamities and so on and so forth. So, adopting a baby, therefore, has a far more deeper and wider meaning than people usually understand it. So it's not a fashion. It's taking responsibility. And when you take a responsibility, you must be sure that you can be able to uphold. People want to adapt from Ethiopia or elsewhere. They need to have a proper education for this, because this is not an emotional process. This is not an infatuation. This is not an emotional attachment to a baby who apparently looks very nice and could be hugged here and there. No. This is a very responsible action that should be taken with full knowledge of the current and the future responsibility that this family should have. This is not a matter of pursuing self-interest. This is not a matter of adding the number of the children you have from 2 to 3 or from 3 to 4. No, this is not quantity, it's quality. So, adoption is a noble activity that should be done by responsible people who can be able to think beyond and above the horizon